It's Kevin Kietzman Uncanceled on 95.7 FM, KCMO Talk Radio.
Good morning, Kansas City. Welcome to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. 95.7 FM, I'm Kevin Kietzman, your humble host in the seat. Happy to be married to the sweetest lady on earth. Happy birthday to Miss Jessica today. I'm doing a little experiment by telling her happy birthday. I'm wondering how many people will reach out to her after hearing that. It is her birthday today. We came very, very close to doing something exceptional today, and that is getting out of town ahead of the storm. We talked about it, but we'll not be doing that. We'll be staying here, and it's all good. She has chosen Mexican food tonight, Mark. Mexican food for her birthday dinner.
It's a good call.
With her mom and dad. It's a great call because I have a coupon at the place that we're going.
Let's go. Free espinaca or something?
It is. I've got that. I've also got a buy one, get one burrito dinner. Her dad loves burritos, man. If he finds one that I like, and we're matching them up, that's going to save me like $15, baby.
Boom.
Because I know I'm on the hook for this one. It's going to be good. We love Mexican food. I've said a million times, I mean, there's 3 or 4 things in the world that I could probably eat every day and have nothing else. Cheeseburgers, pizza, Mexican food. I also love peanut butter. There's certain things I could really probably eat Mexican food every day. So big night tonight. Happy birthday, Jessica. I hope you are listening today. If not, no big deal. I'm sure some folks will let you know that they heard it right here on KCMO Talk Radio. Fine show ahead today. We got a lot of things to talk about, including, okay, this is a weird one. Stay with me. There were Oscar nominations today, and in the second half hour of the show, we're going to spend a moment or two. Can you believe, if you can't, this is unbelievable. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, who you see on Fox News all the time and all this stuff. You guys know who Kevin O'Leary is, right? From Shark Tank? He's in a movie where he's the 4th billing actor, his first acting, 9 Oscar nominations for that movie. He's not one of them. And it actually looks like a movie that I didn't even know what it was until I heard he was in it, and now I want to go see it. We'll fill you in on that one. The one that got all the nominations today I will not be seeing. It looks like, not for me. We'll check in with Mark and get his thoughts on Bill Self being back. The Kansas head coach spent some time in the hospital after chest pains. He'll be coaching Saturday night in Manhattan against Kansas State. And we got a lot to talk about with Trump, Greenland, and all the things that have been going on, which would have been my lead, except now we have arrests in Minnesota. And I want to dream a little. I want to dream big a little on these arrests. I've been just like you. I've been so disappointed in the Department of Justice so far. Nobody gets arrested. Nothing happens. We hear all this. They're going to investigate this. Jack Smith he's on Capitol Hill today. They're going to ask him about the Trump special counsel, and it'll probably go nowhere with Jack Smith. And it all just looks like show trials and stuff and nothing, like nothingness. So I couldn't have been more wrong when these church things, these crazy people went in the church in St. Paul on Sunday, and they stopped the service. And I thought, well, churches are sort of public places, or they claim that they're a place of public worship and everyone is welcome. So I guess theoretically you're welcome to walk in, which they did. Nobody stopped them. But what I didn't know is we've had all these laws on the books for a long, long, long time that you can't do this. You can't interfere with religious ceremonies. You can't do it. One of them is the FACE Act. You probably know this by now. That may be the one they're using, but there's word out that they're using the KKK Act against Nakima Armstrong, who was arrested many years ago, has worked and she's been, quote, an advisor and counselor. I think she has a law degree. She taught to Black Lives Matter. This is a professional social justice warrior. Okay? Her career is race. Folks, there's 2 things they could do here. They've also arrested another lady at this point. Chantel Allen has been arrested. I don't know much about Chantel. But Nakima Armstrong's the one they got first, and they're basically accusing her of leading this and making this happen, that she was the leader, which means now they have her phone, her computers, they have everything. They have her in custody. I'll get to that in a moment. But if they use the FACE Act and the KKK Act, and they find things and learn that she is racist, and I think you're going to find a lot of things in her past that are anti-white, now we're talking about a hate crime. Because they went into that church and they chanted at these people that they had white privilege. This has almost nothing to do with ICE. And ICE taking illegal, even if you're just illegal aliens, forget the criminal alien part, even if you're just here illegally and ICE detaining you and sending you home, what does that have to do with going to a white people's church? Stopping their ceremony, if you have a history of anti-white sentiments and you've broken the FACE Act or the KKK Act, which essentially the KKK Act was written in the 1871, was written to protect freed black slaves to worship at will at any church they wanted with no interference from the Ku Klux Klan. They made it a crime for the Klan to stop or intimidate people from going to church. It's a great law. Can you imagine turning that around on a woman who's been making her living off BLM and making her living off race hate, essentially? This is her livelihood. This is not grassroots. Don Lemon was there. He's black and gay. We're checking all kinds of boxes here. He said this was a grassroots effort. Now, I want to dream a little. They've got their phones. They don't have Don Lemon's, but they've got hers. What if Don Lemon was in on this? What if Don Lemon had a text that, hey, just tell me when and where, and if you're really going to do this thing, I want to be part of it. I'll live stream it. We'll get you all this attention. It'll become viral. It'll be huge, and I'll help in any way I can. What if he texted that to her? Because somehow he knew where the organization was meeting. Then he got the address. Then he was with them. Then he knew what to ask. He even interviewed a guy who's running for an office. There's a dude who's running for office. One of the people that he interviewed is running for office, and his wife is a Democrat operative in Minnesota. This was not grassroots. These were people of means who make a living doing this. This is anti-white, anti-Christian hate. I can't draw a correlation between the people that went and did this and ICE detaining criminal illegal aliens. I can't draw the correlation. I can't see it. This is about to blow this thing apart. Can you imagine if Don Lemon was in any tiny way involved in organizing this thing? His journalist cover is gone. That no longer works. I want to dream a little because I think Don Lemon is a mean-spirited person who wants bad things for America. And I think what he did last weekend was not journalism. I don't know the laws. I can't tell you what the laws are. I know journalists are protected in a way doing their work that a lot of people aren't protected. I get that. But if it's premeditated and he's in on it, knowingly in on it, knowingly going into a church, knowing what he's going to do, and he's knowingly going to promote that, he's guilty. I don't care what anybody says. He's guilty. Can you imagine Don Lemon in handcuffs spending 7 years in jail? A gay black man that's famous? Can you even imagine the life that could be awaiting Don Lemon? Folks, I can't promise you any kind of an outcome of what's going to happen here. I can promise you right now what the DOJ wants. They want to bust the people that were involved in this that are professionals at this. And I'm not talking about people who get, $20 an hour to go stand on a street corner with a sign. That's not who these people were. These people make their living doing this. This is a giant business in America. Soros funds. A lot of people fund this on the left. They fund it. This is a massive business. These are people who have, I'm going to bet she's got a net worth well over $1 million. The lady that was doing this, I'm going to guess she's wealthy because she's at the top of the food chain. She's the organizer. She's got a law degree. She's got this. She's got that. So how does a woman who taught law or had a law degree or went to law school not know that she can't do this? That these acts, the FACE Act and the KKK Act, could land her in jail for years in prison for federal crimes and potentially a federal hate crime. Folks, the story is going to shift here away from illegal aliens to this. Now it's one thing Renee Good is sitting there in her car acting like, I got my dog in the back seat and I'm out here messing with ICE. It looked like she was too dumb to be a criminal, let's be honest. To organizing, interfering with places of worship. I had no idea we had this strong of laws on the books to stop people from interfering with worship. No idea. Man, I hope they get them. And what they want, my promise is that their investigation is they want the pros, and they want to use an example out of them. And when Harmeet Dillon said earlier this week, by Sunday, anybody that goes to church will understand that nobody is coming and interfering with your service. So I think they're going to get a whole lot of information out on these two ladies, and any more arrests. I think there's going to be multiple arrests. And I think they want the lady at the top, and I think they want Don Lemon, and I think they want to send a strong message. We're done with this. We're not dealing with this in any way, shape, or form. 913-408-7957 is the number to call if you would like to join me on this show. I know that's not necessarily a Kansas City issue, but I'm going to guess somewhere in Kansas City there were professional race activists attempting to plan going to a church somewhere and disrupting service. Now, what they can do is stand across the street and holler whatever they want. They can call all the women vile names. They can scream at kids. They can do whatever they want across the street if they're on public property. They can do that. There are plenty of places in Kansas City where they can do that and probably get away with it. But going into the church, stopping the service, doing whatever, 913-408-7957. I'm the guy, I'm a pragmatist. I'm like, you're not going to see Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton in handcuffs. You know, they're supposedly in contempt of Congress now after yesterday and all that. It's not going to happen. Trump was never really going to jail. It was shocking that they got him to go take a mugshot, which wound up being one of the greatest decisions of his career because it made a hero out of him. That's our guy. It made him a hero in the hood. It's what it did. They're like, oh, the white billionaire's down here. He's one of us. There were all these memes that he was a gangster. You know, Trump's a gangster. We got a mugshot, and he looked tough in his mugshot. You know, the whole thing. It worked out great for Trump. But I've not been one that, hey, we're going to be locking these people up. We're going to cuff them. I think Don Lemon could be in real trouble here. Now, did he do it? Was he involved in this? Was he strictly a journalist? Hey, I heard you're doing this thing. I'll go follow you, whatever. We'll see what happens. Or was he promising, instigating, bragging that he'd blow it up and they'd get all kinds of attention? This thing can get bigger. I'm going to live stream it. It'll go viral. If he's promising this thing to them, it made it a bigger event. He's complicit in it. I'm going to dream a little bit that Don Lemon's in trouble. 913-408-7957. This is Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio. All right, we're back. We are happy to take your phone calls today. Hey, we were going to have Gary Lezak on today, and he said, no. I need to wait until Friday to be on. I got to get a little more information on this storm coming in. So Gary Lezak will join us tomorrow to talk about the winter weather. That'll be fun. Let's join John in Gardner and see what's on his mind this morning. Welcome to Uncanceled. John, how are you?
Hey, Keith, I'm well. Thank you very much. How about yourself?
Great, thanks.
Cool. Okay, so back in 2020, I never bought for 2 seconds that Biden won that election, especially by that huge landslide that they were, claiming. I'm kind of jazzed that this is like actually coming back up. I don't know what is going to materialize. They really haven't said a whole lot about it yet, but I just, Fox was kind of reporting on some potential voting fraud and this and that. Well, come on. Then the stories just kind of went away. They were like laughing Giuliani down, and it's just, there were like skits on Saturday Night Live, and it's just like, it's a joke. He lost. I never bought it, and I am really pumped that this is coming back into the forefront.
Well, what we're referring to is what Trump said at Davos yesterday when he went off script.
Yeah.
He said prosecutions are coming from the 20. He was talking about how he actually won the election and it was rigged, and he goes, and prosecutions are coming. And he goes, I know I just made news by saying that. I probably shouldn't have said it, but prosecutions are coming for the 2020 election. We'll see. And
I can't wait because I never bought for 2 seconds that Biden won that thing. I know there was like COVID and the whole thing and the ballot boxes and all that, but I really want to see this come to fruition. I thought that whole 4 years was just a joke. Every time Biden says, when I got elected, I'm like, no, you didn't, dude. And, I get the little laugh emojis on Facebook and the whole thing. Nobody was buying it. But, man, I just really hope that there was just some proof that it was a sham.
We'll see. Thanks for the call, man. There's a lot of evidence out there, whether it's provable evidence that holds up in court and with a jury is something entirely different. I mean, you just can't really calculate. You can sit there and see the videos of huge vans full of ballots being dropped off in Atlanta and Phoenix and places like that. We see the videos, but seeing them unloaded after the election's over or in the middle of the night, I don't know how you can prove all of this, that they got counted in. We did see wild swings in the outcome in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia was probably ground zero for the whole thing that swung that election. Here's Willard in Tonganoxie. Good morning, Willard. How are you, sir?
Hi, Kevin. Hey, Don Lemon is famous, but I don't think he's that well liked. I mean, I don't know anybody. I have friends, all shapes, sizes, stripes, what have you, and I don't really hear anybody raving about Don Lemon. So yes, he's guilty, I believe. Yes, he probably will get charged and convicted, but that's good. Maybe you can fill me in on.
Okay, I don't know if he's guilty. I don't know if he's guilty. He has a little bit of a special protection as a journalist, which is what he is. You may not like the journalism that he does, but if he's not actually the agitator. But what we're going to have is all kinds of video of things that he said while he was there, things that he did, and this is really important. They're going to have all the emails, texts, and devices from the people that were there. How many was Lemon in contact with before this happened? And was he part of organizing it? If he was, then he's not a journalist. A journalist doesn't organize the event.
I can tell you, journalists have no special protections under federal law. In some liberal states, they do have some extra protections, but constitutionally, they have no special protections.
Are you a lawyer?
I am.
Have you heard of freedom of the press?
Freedom of the press is not listed in the Constitution.
There's absolutely freedom of the press, constitutional rights for journalism and press in this country. Absolutely.
Hey, Kevin. We'll disagree on that. One more thing real quick. Quit calling these women ladies. There is nothing elegant or special about them. They are women. They are female, but they are not ladies.
Would you rather me call them they, them? How about they, them?
How about women?
Well, they don't act like women. They act like little girls. They act like seventh grade girls.
I suppose at night they're ladies of the night. But
okay.
Other than that,
all right, Willard. Whatever. Come on, man. I'm not. It's just not. That's not. I don't know what to call them. These women, these ladies, whatever. Come on, that's whatever. They act like seventh grade girls to me for the most part. The ones that are out doing what it is that they're doing. It's petering out. It's getting smaller. We're not seeing the stuff in Minneapolis we did before. They're arresting people. They're hearing about this. And the best part is they're writing down the license plate numbers of the people that are organized in doing this, and then they're going and camping ice right in front of their house. So their neighbors see ice. And then these fools call 911 and think the Minneapolis or St. Paul police are going to come help them. Because ice is out front, and I'm triggered, and I need help. I need help from ICE, so I'm calling the police. These people do not have any rationale for what they're doing. They don't have skills of reasoning or logic. They can't think straight. They can't. The crime rates in this country are down. We've been talking about CBS News changing. They've talked about CBS News had a lead story today and tweeted all over the place. They posted this everywhere. The murder rate is down in America by 21% year over year. This could be the lowest murder rate in the United States since 1900. 2025 could be the lowest murder rate we've had since 1900. This is the 40 largest cities. Carjackings are down 61%. This is CBS doing this. Don't talk to me about jurisdictions. Mayor Q, don't be talking and bragging that your rate's down. Jacob Fry, Minneapolis, don't brag. This is all Donald J. Trump. He's getting the bad people off the streets. They're leaving. We're going to have less crime. End of conversation. We have a slew of stories in this segment, so I'm going to move through some of them fairly quickly that I didn't get to because we had some great calls today, but that's okay. You may recall, if you listen to the show every day, a couple days ago, I talked about a friend that I have who had a daughter that went to Olathe Northwest High School. Full disclosure, all three of my kids went to Olathe North High School, and it's been in trouble for years. My friend's daughter left Olathe Northwest High School because she was sick of watching furries drink out of bowls in the cafeteria. She said, it's getting weird at my school. I went out, and she transferred to a different Olathe school, which I thought that's great if they're getting crazy at Olathe Northwest. Libs of TikTok has posted a screenshot of sexual orientation lessons at Olathe Northwest. I can't confirm this is actually Olathe Northwest. And it says on here, reportedly, Olathe Northwest is doing this. I don't doubt it at all. They list the third sexuality. These are not alphabetical. The third thing you can be, they list as heterosexual. That's the third thing. Behind androgynous, transgender, then they get into other things. That's Olathe Northwest. So earlier this week, I mentioned that these same folks who've been tied to the school, she said, yeah, before I transferred out a couple of years ago, a boy at my high school was caught with a gun, and that's the guy who's the shooter at the Hawk in Lawrence. And it's true. We now have his name, the whole deal. He's arrested. Folks, when you catch kids with guns at high school when they're 16, trouble is around the corner. The other shooter involved in this was from Atchison, I believe, and he's got a rap sheet. He's done other things. He's been in trouble before. This is one of the worst stories ever, this killing at the Hawk in Lawrence from these guys. It was all over the radar that these two young dudes were choosing to make really bad decisions as young men. Olathe Northwest, can you imagine? Mark Carney's the Prime Minister of Canada. He's got an interesting life. He grew up in Alberta, which is very conservative. He went to Harvard. Then he worked on Wall Street and for Goldman Sachs and made hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. He's the guy who went to Davos and trashed America. The guy who gets free national defense. They used to have the fourth largest army in NATO. Now they're smaller than the National Guard of Alabama. Think about that. They have almost no military in Canada. They've just quit spending on military and said, America's got us. Nobody's coming here because America's got us. You know what? I don't like to say this very often, but Carney, F-A-F-O. I'm going to predict now, I told you we'd get Greenland. I'm going to predict now that Trump turns his eyes on Alberta, not Canada as the 51st state. Now, remember what Trump did? He said, if we have to invade Greenland, we will. And then they float these stories, $700 billion to Denmark and $100,000 to every citizen in Greenland and all these things. They're like, no. And it turns out we got Greenland for nothing. No money. Zero. Now, we're going to spend money there, but we got it. The framework's done, and we're going to do what we want and essentially get what Trump wanted to begin with. And if the people of Greenland like having us there and they feel good about this, and I think Trump will put a full court press on the people of Greenland and they decide they want to be independent from Denmark, I'm sure we'll have the funds to help support the election cause if they'd like to do that. Or if they want to become a territory of the U.S. and have that vote, I'm sure Trump's open to that. Leave it to the people of Greenland. I'm all on board with that. And I think Alberta's next. There is a giant, massive movement in Alberta. These people do not want to be a part of Canada. I'm not talking about the 51st state. That's how you get the headlines. That's how he's riled up the people of Alberta. They are rising up against Ottawa and all of the people, the powers that be on the left in Canada. They want their own nation. Think Texas. Think Texas. That's Alberta. It's loaded with oil. 88% of their entire GDP from Alberta comes from the United States. They know this. Every industry they have in Alberta, the biggest city's Calgary, everything they have in Alberta is because of the United States. They know this. And they're surrounded by northern, northwest, western states, Montana, everywhere up there around the border of Canada. This is conservative country. It's all the same. They identify more with that part of America than they do anything in Canada. He's going to eye it next. I think he should mess with Carney and come out and say, we fully support Alberta's right to independence, and they can do it legally in Canada. They have mechanisms to do it, and I think he should support it until Carney shuts up and stops bad-mouthing us on foreign soil. He made all of his money in the United States. His whole life he owes to the United States. Julian Assange put a post. Remember this guy? He put a post up yesterday, said Mark Carney is nothing but an operative of the DNC, that the DNC and the Liberal Party of Canada are one and the same. Carney's a DNC asset. DNC keeps all of its money in Canadian banks, and the reason they do that is it's shielded from U.S. law. It would make the Somali fraud fund look like child's play. Now, there's an investigation. Let's investigate what the DNC is doing with Canadian banks. How about these numbers? Voter ID. Of all the things on the docket to get done before November, this is the top of the list. Voter ID requirement, voter ID. And yes, Congress can pass that as a national law. All voters in America, 73% say yes. Men, 69, women, 76. This is a Rasmussen poll in the last few days. 18 to 29-year-olds, 70%. 30 to 39-year-olds, 70%. 40 to 49-year-olds, 80%. 50 to 64-year-olds, 77%. 65 plus, 67%. White, 73%. Blacks, 70%. Yes, require my photo ID when I vote. My photo ID. Hispanics, 69%. Democrats, 64% of Democrats believe you should show an ID when you vote. There are good people in that party. GOP, 86%. This has got to get done. Just absolutely 100% positively has to get done, voter ID. Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach was fined $1, I think because he ate at the table next to me Friday night at 1587 Steakhouse. I didn't say hi or anything. He's at a table across from us. Yes, I went. We did a little birthday thing there with a friend and Jessica. They had the birthdays a week apart. And we finally, I succumbed to the wishes of my wife and took her to a restaurant that I don't care if I ever go to again. I don't. I may go again if a client wants to go or something happens, but I'm not going to be. I will never make a reservation at 1587. And this wasn't my reservation. We went with another couple that invited us to go, and we did, and it was fine. It was fine, but it's not worth it. It is not worth it. But I saw Kobach there dining, and then a few days later he got fined $1 by a court in Kansas because he, quote, should have known better than to file in a court with no jurisdiction. This had to do with gender markers and sex changes on Kansas driver's licenses. Do you remember this? Well, he got shot down by a bunch of courts, but what he did was he got people talking about it, and people thought, well, that's a reasonable idea. I would think if you're an officer and you walk up and check somebody's ID, this is something you'd want to know. When you look at a picture of a man on the driver's license and the name is James, and now it's a woman named Phyllis, and they're trying to explain this. I mean, seriously. So he did that. We're confused by all this gender stuff. But we had a wonderful episode of a show that I love, probably too much. It might be my favorite television show of all time. It's called Landman. It's on Paramount Plus. And the next to last episode of the season last week, there was a scene, I mentioned this on the show, where there's the young lady is going off to college and she's a cheerleader at TCU. She gets assigned a roommate that's a transgender. And it doesn't go well at all. Immediately there's rules. You must call me they, them. No music can be played. This is my safe space over in this part. I mean, it was everything you can think of. And this girl's like little rich girl going to TCU. Daddy's an oil man. I just want to be on the cheer squad. And she's like, yeah, I'm out of here. I got to find a different place and a different roommate to live with. Well, I won't give away the story of how it goes, but there is a meeting between the two. They sort of see each other's point of view and may wind up becoming at least loose friends and respect one another. But I don't understand any of this. There's an interview here with Bobby Menhuez, who is the person who plays the transgender character on this show. Menhuez is transgender. This character is introduced as pagan, which is weird, and then is interviewed about doing this. And this person says, well, you know, there's a lot of queers in the world, and there's a lot of this, and I took the role knowing that, you know, I saw the script, but I'm an actor, and this is what I want to do. Here's the quote. Knowing the impact of this popular show, I just knew there would be a lot of different responses from all sides of the spectrum. And if you look at American politics, obviously this is a hot-button topic in an interview with Deadline. So I knew that there would be a lot of different responses. But for me, I really don't look at the comments section. I really don't look at the reviews. As the actor, my job is to show up, do what I need to do to perform this character in a way that feels authentic and good to me and in service of the story and the people that I'm working with. And I don't feel like it's my responsibility to take all of that in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 times in those two paragraphs, this they, them person referred to themselves as I or me or my or the actor, which is singular. You got a dozen times here this actor's referring to themselves as a singular person, but we have to call that person they, them? I didn't know that. Do they need new words to describe themselves when they're talking about themselves? Why would you say I if you're two different people. If you're multiple people, if you have multiple identities, how can you use the word I or me or my?
We.
Right. We. That's exactly right. Knowing the impact of this show, we just knew there would be a lot of different responses. So we knew that there would be a lot of different responses. For us, we really don't look at the comments section. We really don't look at the reviews. As actors, our job is to show up. What we need to do is perform the way that feels authentic and what's good to us and the people that we are working with. And we don't feel like it's our responsibility to take all that in. There, I just cleaned the whole thing up grammatically. What's happening here? And why do we listen to these clowns? Why is it our responsibility to learn your stupid rules? Count me out. We have definitions for words, and they stand. And finally, the Oscars today revealed all the nominations. Some movie called Sinners leads the way. Count me out on this one. It's set in the Jim Crow South. I've got you. Now you know why it's getting all the Oscars, right? All the nominations. I've said enough for you to understand why they're leading in all the nominations. But this one's really weird. It starts out with a character that's anti-church and doesn't like the way this, I guess it's Michael B. Jordan, who's a very famous actor, plays twin brothers in the movie. He plays both of them. And I don't know. It starts out sort of, hey, you're a bad person. You're not following God and all this. And then somehow Satan comes into this thing, and there's some sort of I don't know, it's more of a violent kind of weird movie that may have to do with the cult or devil or whatever in the Jim Crow South with black people. I don't understand it, but I'm out. No thanks. That doesn't sound like entertainment to me. I'm sure it was well made, whatever. But you can understand why if that's the movie they're coming, if it involves anti-church, involving the devil, spirits, maybe the occult, Jim Crow South, oppression of black people, it's going to get all the nominations. So there you go. Now, there's a movie that I have not heard of that came out on Christmas called Marty Supreme. And I'm listening to Pete Mundo this morning after I've recorded my podcast. And once a week or so, the guy Ducey on Fox News does a Walk With Me segment where it's quite long, and he gets a celebrity and he walks around the neighborhood where they live or whatever. And he's walking around Miami with Kevin O'Leary, who's Mr. Wonderful from Shark Tank, who's on Fox News a lot. And he's walking around with him, and I missed most of it. I'm listening to Mundo, and then they go to break, and so I turn the volume up as I'm getting ready for this show. And he's talking to O'Leary, who's on his phone. He goes, yeah, you keep looking at your phone to see if you're nominated for an Oscar. And I'm like, what? And Steve Ducey says to Kevin O'Leary, they just told me on my ear you were not nominated for an Oscar. He's learning live on Fox News that he's not nominated for an Oscar. And I'm like, what is this all about? And he goes, well, that's the spoils of it. I had a great time doing it, and it's not my last movie. And Ducey said, what is it? He said, it's a movie called Marty Supreme. And I thought it was a joke. He was talking about Oscar nominations. Turns out everybody affiliated with this movie got an Oscar nomination today, except Kevin O'Leary. He would have been up for Best Supporting Actor. He is fourth on the billing. It is his first acting job, and apparently he's terrific. Casting was nominated for Best Oscar. In other words, you did great with the casting here. They've got Timothée Chalamet, who's really famous. I want to see this movie. It's known as a sports comedy drama set in 1952 in New York City, where the lead character, Timothée Chalamet, plays a young man who's got a wild life going. And he apparently is very good at table tennis. And that's the sports hook of this thing, but it's about much more than that. It looks like all kinds of crazy things happen. It's based loosely on somebody who lived in New York at one time. They've written a whole screenplay for this, so they can't say it's a real-life true story. And I read the synopsis of it, and it looks wild, and it looks good, and Chalamet's a talent. Gwyneth Paltrow plays Kevin O'Leary's wife in this movie. I can't even believe it. Like, Kevin O'Leary's getting into things that you would never, ever, ever have thought of. But appearing on Fox News may have hurt him in the Oscar voting. That's the point. 9 Oscar nominations for a movie called Marty Supreme. I definitely want to see this thing. Looks like the only person that took part, and he has a pretty big role in it, was Kevin O'Leary, who is not nominated. There's no Best Male Supporting Actor in Marty Supreme, and it looks like that's the only category that they didn't get nominated. So there you have it. All right, we come back. Bill Self is back. Says he's just fine, and he's coaching Saturday night. We'll get into that next on KCMO. Hey, Mark, we've learned a new term in the last month or so, haven't we? Do you care to expand on that, or would you like me to explain?
Go for it. I'm talking about leveling up here.
Oh, we're going to level up right here with the show. You've heard the saying, take it to the next level. That's apparently what level up means. And in all the FanDuel spots that we record, it's in the copy. They want us to use the term leveling up. And I wasn't sure I knew exactly what it meant. The first time I heard it, I thought, maybe that means I'm behind and now I'm getting even. But when they do the profit boosts at FanDuel, you're going up to the next level. In other words, instead of making even money, you're making more than even money.
Exactly.
Right? So you're going up a level. You're taking it to the next level. This comes from gamers. I don't play video games, but people who play video games, there's different levels. When you get better, you go to the next level, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They call that leveling up. That's it. It's just parlance. It's just a turn of a phrase. We used to say take it to the next level, which takes a lot longer than saying level up.
Yeah. They're shortening it for us.
We just got to find a way to level up this show.
We can do it.
Doesn't that sound like I'm saying even it out? We got to level up this show. Like, we're doing terrible. We got to get back to even.
No, we're just going to get better.
Like, the Royals are 7 games under 500. They got to level up. Well, that would be leveling up.
Yeah.
But if they were 7 games over and they were attempting to level up, that would be going backwards, it sounds like to me. Or leveling down. I don't know. All right, Bill Self is back. He says it was a minor deal, but because he'd had chest pains before and problems with his heart, he's got the valve, he has the stents, and he has AFib now. And that's what this was. There was a dehydration. He went to the hospital. But he said he could have coached that night, but they wouldn't let him fly. He's back. He did his radio show last night, and he's coaching Saturday night in Manhattan. You say what?
I think that's great. I think he should hang it up after the season, though. There's no reason for him to keep on going with the ongoing heart issue. I mean, you look at what he's been through the last couple of years, and it's just like it's just going to keep happening and keep happening. So get out while you can before you're forced to, is my opinion. Interesting.
Okay. I want the best for him. Jacques Vaughn's there for a reason. Mm-hmm. This was a great hire to have him there in case something happened, which it did. And it's not it's a dead mortal lock that he's the next head coach, unless he doesn't want it. Unless he's like, oh, I'm not following Bill Self. But why would he be here if he didn't want that? He's a mortal lock to be the next coach. I've lost track of the number of Kansas fans who were impressed by what he did with the game the other night. And a lot of this is in college basketball coaching or any basketball coaching. It's just like, what did you look like as our coach? What was your demeanor? How did the team play? Well, Melvin Council just played his heart out, and you made a point about Darren Peterson.
Yeah, Darren Peterson did something he hasn't done really all season, and that is finish the entire game. Even while dealing with an injury, he had a turned ankle. Bill Self said that he might not be 100% for a few weeks, so he played through that for Jacques Vaughn, I think.
Interesting. And you have a piece going up at Heartland College Sports today that you've written about this?
Yep.
Just go to the website. It'll be up later today, or is it there now?
HeartlandCollegeSports.com. It'll be up later today.
Okay, later today. HeartlandCollegeSports.com. Go there and read Mark Van Sickle's thoughts about the Kansas Jayhawks and their future. Man, I think they're in great hands if it's not Bill Self. This is a program that's only had 8 coaches all time.
That's so crazy.
It's just insane. But, Jacques Vaughn's at an age where if he took over, he could coach it 20 years. He could be a 20-year guy. The only possible drawback to Jacques Vaughn is more often than not when you bring back one of your player heroes, like George Brett turned down the Royals manager job 1,000,000 times. He's like, nope, I want to be remembered as that great player. I don't want it ruined by something I can't control.
But if he leads him to a national championship as a coach, he didn't do that as a player.
Bingo. And a college basketball coach has complete control of the program. That's a totally different thing. So there you go. Everybody says, why don't you do more than an hour? Well, we do. It's called KKSissues.com. You can listen to it right now.